So I'm going to put that, if she does nothing else that people would disagree with, that is the one thing that she should really stop. Because a lot of these people, they cannot afford $195 tickets for virtually nothing. They're not really doing anything egregious. It's just that's how they're doing it out here. They're milking us for every dime that we've got. That's what's going on.
Well, my opinion is this. If they're not driving reckless, okay, and they're within a 5 mile an hour of the speed limit, they should be pulled over, and they should turn around and tell them, I pulled you over because you're doing 4 miles over the speed limit, and you're not supposed to do that. I pulled you over.
You know, in Illinois, if cops are sitting in wait, they call it a speed trap.
Exactly.
And that community has to pay heavily for it. It was a Bloomington, Illinois, went bankrupt because they had speed traps in Illinois. And these are virtually speed traps. Sometimes these cops are just parked and waiting and hiding someplace, and they're going out to get you.
Right.
They should way out of line.
They should turn around and pull them over. Check their license and registration. If everything is good, they have insurance, just give them a warning, let them go. This is ridiculous.
One thing Louis DeCanio keeps bringing up to me, and I'm surprised that this is happening. People are getting cited for safety belts, seat belts, only for seat belts. Now, it's not a primary. I've checked with the judges and the lawyers, and it's not a primary, but they're still being cited for it. They'll say, well, you know, we saw something wrong, and then they didn't have the seatbelt on.
Right.
And they're collecting money on this also, and then they have these saturation patrols where everybody is looking for the seatbelts.
Right.
Now, if it's not a primary, they should not stop you.
Right.
And for the people listening, primary is the reason for the stop, and they're not supposed to be able to stop you for not having a seatbelt on.
Yeah.
You may have it on, and they that'll give them open door to stop everybody. Just saying, well, I don't think you have a seatbelt. I didn't like it. Here's a good-looking girl. I want to talk to her. You know?
Right. Well, I tell you what I do, and I haven't been pulled over in a very long time, but what I do is I unhook my seatbelt and I put it behind me. And if they say you don't have a seatbelt on, it says I took it off so I can get my wallet out of my back pocket.
Well, I know Brisbane used to throw tickets out. She dismissed the ticket because they would go into their glove compartment, and she knew they took the seatbelt off, and the cop inside, she said, no, if they're going in their glove compartment, they took the seatbelt off.
Right.
So I'm not going to hear that one is dismissed.
Right.
That's the way it should be. And citations that are written incorrectly, they should be dismissed automatically, and they haven't been.
Oh.
I've seen cases, I've seen one trial where a fella, his first name is Ron, he was cited for something as far as turning in front of a squad car or something like that, and they cited him for a trailer that he had at home. They gave the wrong information. They took the wrong information, and Judge Sullivan still found the guy guilty.
Of course, because
for a trailer, he didn't have the trailer. The cop admitted. Yeah,
they want the money.
I talked to Tony DeMeo on that when he said, when they write him wrong, they toss him out. But, you know, sometimes they just, this fellow had the audacity to ask for a trial on it.
Right.
Because of that, and he was still found guilty. So
See,
that's what's going on out here.
And New York had to throw out so many tickets. You know what they did? Because what they do is, on New York plates, you have a barcode on it. So they hold the machine up to it, the ticket writer, they hold it up to the barcode. That gives all the information on the car, and then they just punch a couple of spots with the stylus, and that's where you get the ticket for, and it gives you a printout, and the other is in the machine that they're handheld, because they were losing hundreds of millions of dollars in tickets in New York because they couldn't write them properly. So that's what they did to make the money. It's just crazy. You know, I talk about the Verrazano Bridge, $19 now. It used to start out as a quarter. And $19 for the bridge, and no more toll booth. They bill you. As your car goes through it, it scans the plate, and they bill you for the $19. And if you don't pay the bill, they suspend your driver's license. But they got rid of all the toll takers. He goes, you realize, when I used to go through the booth, it was like $7.50. I threw $7.50 worth of nickels and dimes in there.
Yeah.
You know, and they were losing a lot of money. Just like I said, the Staten Island Ferry, Giuliani eliminated it because it was 25 cents each way, and it was costing more than 25 cents to collect the money, so he just gave it to them for free. So, but Nye County, you get nothing for free.
Well, it just amazed me because I'm here 41 years now, and I saw what it was, a basic rural lifestyle, where you didn't need a permit every time you looked around, where you're able to operate and have some kind of life where you felt free. And no longer is that the case. Every time I drive out of my property, I'm saying, what am I in for today? When I walk into that courthouse, which I do just about every day, I say, and most of the time out loud, I'll say, into the den of iniquity I go.
Definitely.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
I'm going to let you get back with your show.
We didn't talk about Barry's sentencing, did we?
No, we have not.
Why don't we talk about that?
Okay. Yeah, Barry, I'll just give his first name. I don't know if he wants his last name out there. He was actually with hospice nurses in the courtroom. He was on oxygen, and when they put his wheelchair up to the microphone, Judge Lane asked him if he had anything to say. He said, yeah. He said, I did nothing wrong. I committed no crime. I broke no law, and I'm going through all this. And the prosecution got up and said, he shows no remorse. Throw the book at this guy. Well, he's in bad health and everything else. Lane gave him 19 to 48 months, but he suspended the sentence, 5 years probation, and 364 days on a different charge in county, and he suspended that on the probation. But it's ridiculous to be going after somebody. How can you have remorse when you haven't committed a crime?
Exactly right. Why would you turn around and say, I'm sorry? What he should have said is, I'm sorry, I didn't do anything wrong. But, that would just be more sarcastic. But yeah, I'm sorry, but I didn't do anything wrong. Why am I here?
Well, he confronted Lane. He did not back off, and I was proud of him that he handled it that way. Because he said, and I don't know how that jury convicted. I really don't know. And I was just talking to Paul Miller earlier today, and he said, how did they convict this guy for protecting his own property on a trespasser who was looking to do him harm?
Yeah.
And he didn't shoot the guy.
I know.
If he would have shot him, I still would have been on his side.
Of course.
You protect yourself and your property.
And the bad thing about it was, the guy didn't show up to court this time, but he showed up to court last time and turned around and said he saw him riding around his property and everything, right? That's why they forced him to come to court.
That's right. Now, warrant. If he didn't show up, they're gonna arrest him.
Now, do you think these hospice nurses and CNAs are gonna put a phony front up to ruin their reputation? This guy is in bad shape. That guy didn't show up to court, his neighbor across the street, but he has to keep doing it because he's in trouble with them and they're forcing him to make Barry look bad.
Well, that was really horrible what happened, but I wish you Barry the best. I hope maybe there's sometimes people recover from severe illnesses, and like with the grace of God, that's what I believe in. All right, I'm gonna let you get back. I accept Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior. Keep the faith, power to the people. Rate a flag man, over and out. Have a good show, Anthony.
Thank you very much. Okay, we're gonna take a break. When we come back, 775-751-2579. Thanks.
Support for KPFF comes from B&P Dirtwork. B&P Dirtwork offers all-purpose backhoe for driveways and fifth wheel pads, digging trenches, clearing lots and fields, and more. B&P Dirtwork is licensed, insured, and happy to work for you. More information at 702-540-0961. That's 702-540-0961.
All statements heard on this station are that of the program hosts, co-hosts, guests, and callers alone and are not necessarily those of this station or its affiliates.
Hello, this is LD, Lazy Dog Michael John. I'm going to host a show Sunday evenings at 7 p.m. called Lazy Dog's Front Porch. Why don't you come on by, crawl up on the porch, pull up a chair, and join me. We're going to have a good time. We're going to chat about this and that, everything else. We might even become interesting. We'll just see where it goes. Sunday night, 7 p.m. on KPFF.
Hello, listeners. Want to know what talk programs are broadcast by KPFF? The KPFF program guide is now on our Prompt Film Festival website. If you want to see what's coming up this week on KPFF, just go to www.promptfilmfestival.org. As programs are added or changed, so will the guide. That's www.promptfilmfestival.org for the best talk programs in Pahrump.
97.7, Pahrumps Community Radio Station.
And welcome back. So today is June 9th. It's my father's birthday. I actually have his World War II veterans hat on. I wore it on D-Day, and I wore it today for my father's birthday. And I just want to talk about Trump's speech at Normandy. I thought it was a great speech. I really never really had any great love for France, but the president of France, he was pretty respectful for what we did for his country in helping him on D-Day. I watched the whole program live. It started at 12:30 in the morning. I watched the whole thing live, and they actually had reenactments the day before of guys trying to climb on rope and rope ladders up that hill, the side of the cliff, that they had to do that. And they said, the young guy said, it was horrible to do it, and could you imagine the guys doing that while they're being shot at? You know, it was a very interesting program. I enjoyed Trump's speech. I think he did a great job. I think he represented us well. It was actually almost impossible for CNN and MSNBC to say something bad about his speech. It was pretty shocking. And he was in England, and then he went to France. And remember that France helped us when we were at war here, and France helped us, and it wasn't the French government that really was ready to do that. What happened was most of our founding fathers were Freemasons, and they traveled to France saying that they needed help, but they didn't go to the government. They went to the other Freemasons in France and the other countries. They had meetings with the Freemasons, and the Freemasons had power and turned around and talked to their government to help us out. So they helped us at the beginning, and we helped them in England, France and England, in World War II. We got involved. They were just waiting to get involved in it, but Pearl Harbor is really why we started to get involved in that. But I'm getting into this because it's history. I like people to know the history. I enjoy watching anything that has to do with history, even especially the Civil War. But I want to know, when Trump went to England, now, England, their economy is not really that good. I want to know, see, this is how I dissect things when I watch it. They had a picture of Trump, not a picture, they had a balloon or a float with Trump sitting on a golden toilet, okay, with his pants down, and he's sitting on a golden toilet to try to say that he has too much money, and he was brought up with a gold or silver spoon in his mouth. And they also had a balloon, like they have in the Macy's Day Parade, a balloon with Trump in a diaper, okay, like a little baby. And I really want to know what organization had the money to do that. Okay, is it the globalists, the guys who want England to stay into the European Union? Is that the organization that got together to put that money together? Because I don't think a bunch of neighborhood people are going to get together and start making balloons of Trump and making a float with him sitting on a golden toilet. I just don't think that they would get into that. And I really don't think the people in England have the money to do that. So it would be interesting to find out who got involved in doing that. And why I say that is, people in England, older people that don't have that much money, when it's cold there, they ride the buses at night to keep warm. Okay, so England is not an economic, for the people, they're not financially sound. So that's why I look at that and I'm saying, that thing was pretty expensive, and you got all those people together and everything. I wonder who paid for that. And that's a question you should ask yourself when you see these different things going on. Who is paying for it and why? What is Trump doing now? England, if they get out of that whole Brexit deal and they get away from the European Union, is going to be in better shape because we'll do more trade with England because they're our friends, and we'll do more trade with England. So England will be better off than they are now getting out of the European Union. Because European Union is like globalism. They did it there. They're trying to get everybody, they've been talking about it for years, to get everybody on one currency, which is a nightmare. And you don't have, there's a couple of things that the globalists want that the average person who believes in God and country. Okay, and if you're a globalist, you have no country. That's why they don't want a border wall in Mexico. They want everybody to be able to walk in and out of any country. And what happens when you don't have a border? Well, how do you know where your country starts and ends? And how do you have loyalty to your country? If they're trying to break the country down, where is the loyalty? Where is the loyalty in the European Union? Do you have a loyalty to the European Union? Or the English people have loyalty to their country, and France has loyalty to their country, and that's what it's all. That's called nationalism. Unfortunately, nationalism gets a bad name because they try to tie it to Germany all the way back before World War I and World War II. But you're supposed to have pride in the country you live in, and that's what makes you strong. Pride in your country. Somebody steps on your feet, you turn around and go back and step on their feet and maybe a little bit more. But without borders, there's no countries. And you have to have pride in your country. I'm an American of Italian heritage. I love the United States of America more than I love Italy. Italy is my heritage and my family background. But my country is the United States of America, and it always will be. Do we have a caller? Go ahead, caller.
Hi, Anthony. It's
Hey,
Amy.
how you doing?
I hear you. I'm good, thank you. I hear you talking about the one world scenario, and that when I was in New Jersey in 2004 through 2008, I was reading articles all the time, and I went and looked it back up, and they started posting the Amero dollar, which would have been the coin for North America.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what they had in store.
Mm-hmm.
To make us like the unions in Europe. And if you weren't part of that, and you didn't use your euro dollar, well then you were going to be left out.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what they have planned here. That includes Mexico and Canada.
Mm-hmm.
That includes those places too.
Yeah.
So there was a plan a long time ago, and Google Amero coin, they will see a lot. They will see the design of that coin was actually produced, waiting to get it on the market. So there's money to be lost.
Right. Yeah, well, they're trying to do a digital currency, and in Europe, they can't do it here because 40% of all purchases in the United States are done with cash. They're trying it in one of the Netherlands because 4% of their purchases are done with cash. So that way they don't even have to print money, everything's digital. And that's a nightmare too.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. If Bitcoin is, the way to go, what do they call that kind of currency?
They call it, it's not a digital currency. I forgot what they call it. But Bitcoin, there's a couple of others. Yeah, there's a couple of others out there. So, yeah.
So anyway, when you're talking about all that, I just wanted to remind you that they've had a big plan, and there's trillions of dollars at stake.
Mm-hmm.
So people with that kind of money would certainly try to stop Trump, because he's putting he's put the cogs in their plan. He doesn't want open borders. We don't want open borders.
No.
So that's really stopping their plan, and their money's invested in it. So they would be the ones to, in my opinion, promote float and pay the news
Right.
to report what they should, because reporters don't investigate the news. They just report what they're seeing and what they're told.
Yeah, they're not journalists, they're reporters. That's it.
A good friend of mine I've worked with in the casino, his name is Tony Tack, T-A-K. And Tony at one time was a great journalist, and he had to go out back in the day and do his own research on stories and then report on those stories.
Mm-hmm.
He was explaining to me, and this is going back to 1976, even then he was explaining to me, you have to be careful, you can't believe the news anymore. And that's how we're supposed to know. He said the public has to ask questions. When they hear something, they have to start asking questions.
Right. Well, the problem is we have sheeple now.
Of course.
That's what the problem is with sheeple.
That's a shame. It's a shame.
Oh, you know,
you were talking to the flag man about the things that happen in court. And that's just to show you they do things because they can.
yes.
Nobody's going to stand up. I mean, if you did, you're one person.
Yeah, but other people do it. You have more power together.
I know, but you can't get these people up to do something like that. They say, oh, I've got everything to lose. I've got a family. They come up with all the reasons until it happens to them. And it's like that expression, you know, they came from my relatives, distant relatives, and I did nothing. You know, they came from my neighbor, I did nothing.
Right.
They came for me and I was alone.
Yep.
You know, and that's what's going to happen.
Yeah. It's actually very sad what we're watching with the media just turn around and they just lie. It's just crazy. And now, all of a sudden, Jerry Nadler, they used to call him Jerome Nadler when he was about 400 pounds heavier than he is now. But he's been there since I was a kid in New York.
Yeah.
And he was crazy back then. This is a guy who had a problem passing the bar and never used his law license, never tried a case. He became a politician and he's using his law license to act like he knows what he's doing and he don't have a clue.
You know, that kind of triggered another thing you were talking to Ray about, how they stop people and then decide, oh, we stopped you because we didn't think you had a seatbelt on. Number one, cars, now I'm not sure when it started, but every car I go down and look at for years now has a seatbelt that automatically comes over you. There's no way for you to do that unless you open your door and it's released.
Mm-hmm.
It's an automatic seatbelt. The majority of the cars have it.
Right.
I don't have an automatic one. I've got one that I put on automatically. But the second thing is, my ex-husband, when this was in Las Vegas, in probably 89 or 90, he was stopped for a DUI. Now, he went out and got himself a good attorney. And in court, the argument was, why did you stop him? And the officer said, the attorney said, did he have a real light out? And the officer said, no. He said, was he swerving? He said, no. He said, was he speeding? He said, no. He said, then why did you stop him? And the deputy couldn't answer him. So they got the charges dismissed.
Yeah,
they have to have a reason to stop them.
Right, they probably should see that's what the problem is. Like, there's a bar,